Port of Spain, Trinidad, November 1989. In a must-win situation for the United States, Paul Caligiuri scored the most important goal in 40 years, 30 minutes into the Americans' last qualification match against Trinidad. But while the U.S. needed a victory, Trinidad could advance with a tie and pressed the attack. Goalkeeper Tony Meola captured his fourth straight shutout, and America booked passage to Italy.
The 1990 World Cup on TNT is being brought to you by Bud Dry, dry brewed for no aftertaste. By Michelin, because so much is riding on your tires. By Tums, the sodium-free antacid that's rich in calcium. And by Coke Classic, you can't beat the real thing.
They have played 45 minutes in Florence in the U.S., looking for its first win, locked up in a scoreless deadlock with Austria. I'm Ernie Johnson in our TNT World Cup studio in Atlanta. Let's take a look at the first half highlights in this one. It's a round one Group A finale. Neither team with a point so far in the first round. The best U.S. chance in this one came in the third minute on the free kick from John Hartz. You will see Peter Vermees right over the top from down close. Now in the 13th minute, Austria, which has scored no goals in 2 games so far, has a pretty good chance. Tony Polster with the feed to Robert Hetzel, and Tony Meola comes up big with the save as he dives to his left. The U.S. gets a break later in the half as Peter Artner comes in hard on Peter Vermees. Really a nasty play there, because if he comes in straight on with those spikes, you're talking a broken leg there. A red card very much in order for Peter Artner, and the U.S. will play with a man advantage the rest of the way. They are scoreless at the half. Also at the half, a goal by Schilacci has given Italy a 1-0 win over lead over Czechoslovakia. Check that. The winner of that one wins Group A. In Group D today, West Germany and Colombia tied 1-1. The Colombians with a last-second goal as they move on to the next round. West Germany wins that group. Also in Group D, Yugoslavia clinches second place with a 4-1 win over United Arab Emirates. Just ahead, Craig Sager pays a visit to the U.S. training camp in Italy. We will be right back. And welcome back to World Cup 1990. In our series of Michelin travelogues, we've given you a tourist's eye view of the host country, Italy. Today, Craig Sager takes us to a place that will never be confused with a vacation hotspot. It's Team USA's training center.
Welcome, a friendly greeting to one in a faraway land, Torinia, where soccer, exemplary of the Italian town, is played not only in the streets, but in this resort site along the shores of the Mediterranean, the national pastime is also played on the beach. To the U.S. soccer team, by World Cup standards short on talent, idle time is wasted time, and leisurely excursions to town are rare. More familiar sights are Italian guards stationed at the U.S. training center, who keep the players in and the visitors out.
Staying here at this training facility has been a little bit sort of like a concentration camp in some ways, but it's sort of a place that we had to come to because we had to take care of the business. I think this is where we could best focus on what we had to do.
Well, if you like pasta, it's everything, you know. I'm getting a little sick of it, to tell you the truth. I love a good burger and a nice Domino's pizza because they don't make pizza like they do in the States, I'll tell you that.
It's not as good?
No, it's not even close.
Once or twice a week, the gates are open to journalists. And whereas some athletes shy away from the media, the Americans eagerly await the pens, microphones, and cameras.
Come on, get it. Let's show them what it's like to live here. Turn the light on. Come in. It's not quite as messy as we like. We have our gloves hanging up here. So these are Tony's. These are mine, and these are the ones they gave us to wear. Are those the ugliest things you've ever seen? Now we got our blue suits hanging up in here. These are our suits. Are these the ugliest things you've ever seen too? Now look at this. Huh? We need some lighting? Shed some light on this. There we go.
Well, what do we have to explain? These are,
there's your groupings right there. Groups A through F.
points, goals for, goals against, win-loss, tying games played.
You learn more of a road by having traveled it than all the conjectures and descriptions in the world. This was the first time in 40 years that the United States had participated in the World Cup. And for the players involved, it provided memories of a lifetime.
I think that the biggest thrill for a soccer player is to go off the field in a World Cup and exchange with the opposing team. And for me, you know, always idolizing Walter Zenga and now having the chance to get a jersey from him was very exciting for me, and it's something that I'll cherish for, you know, the rest of my life.
Experience is not what happens to you, it's what you do with what happens to you. And if Emerson was correct that every man is entitled to be judged by his finest moment, then this is what should be remembered about the 1990 World Cup. Greg Sager, TNT, Torinia, Italy.
And we're back. The U.S. and Austria scoreless at halftime on the final day of play in Group A. Two other groups have already completed first-round play. In Group B, Cameroon finished on top despite a 4-0 loss to the Soviets yesterday. Argentina, the defending champ, tied Romania 1-1. The Romanians took second, clinching a spot in the second round. And with 3 points, Argentina is assured of being one of the 4 third-place teams that move on. Group D wrapped up today. West Germany and Colombia tied 1-1. West Germany wins the group. Colombia advances as a third-place team. Yugoslavia clinched second in Group D with a 4-1 win over United Arab Emirates. Just ahead, the second half of Austria and the U.S. It's the World Cup live on TNT.